But I think first and foremost, shall we talk about Star Wars? Let's talk about Star Wars. So Star Wars
I,
has got a new
I thought
movie.
I thought Star Wars was dead.
Yeah, I thought Star Wars was well. Who's asking for this? First and foremost, no one is asking for this. The market doesn't dictate this movie be released. It doesn't dictate that this movie is even wanted at this point in time. No one is asking for this product, and yet Disney have been quietly working on this for some time with none other than Damon Lindelof, of all people, to throw out there. And I see Tom is.
Yeah, on the Lindelof thing, it's kind of funny because in Cosmic News drops this today, or yesterday, Star Wars. Disney reports wants Kathleen Kennedy to stop announcing new projects.
Yep. Yep. That's a second source too. That's not just one source there.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean,
Well, Tom,
this is the thing.
I was going to say, Tom, take it away with that. What's your thoughts on this? Obviously,
I'm not surprised. It's kind of the same thing we've been hearing, and Andre has a video coming up where he kind of posits a similar thing, is that this whole idea of all these Star Wars movies we keep hearing, there's a reason why they keep getting announced and then canceled or pushed back. And it's because Kathleen Kennedy is bullying this crap, and nobody wants these things. As Chapek and Iger both have said separately throughout the last couple of years, we're putting Star Wars movies on hold. We're not going to have Star Wars movies for a while. We're going to back off on Star Wars for a bit. How many times have we heard this now? Yet every other day we're getting some new announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, the last one was in 2019, which really shocked me to hear that. Have that sort of reminded to me. It's, you hear about it, you're like, yeah, 2019, wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But it does feel like a really, really long time ago. And I mean, I guess it is in Star Wars terms,
and we're
not,
still looking at
new
2024, 25 at least before another one, if that.
2025 apparently. So Paulie, opinions on this?
Right. I saw your video, and remember, The Rise of Soy Walker came out Christmas 2019, 2020.
They're still filming
one of the last
it, though.
films. Excuse me, Tom?
They're still shooting it as we speak, though. So.
Apparently. Oh my God. And it was one of the last films I saw before the lockdown, right? It was like in March, as far as in the theater.
Yeah.
And so it's such a bad taste in all of our collective, memories. But to even suggest that they're gonna have any of those characters in any of those three films come back for a new film, and so they're saying it's a one-off, and it's not part of the continuing, not part of the Skywalker saga. Okay, well, what are they gonna say that if they bring back Rey? Well, Rey's not a Skywalker. It's just so horrible. It's just so. It's just so like. You're right. No one's asking. No one's asking for this.
Yeah,
I mean, just that.
And then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you brought up that it's just one singular movie, right? So is, as far as we understand, Taika Waititi's project and the Jon Favreau or not Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige project as well. They're all one shots. Yeah. But what did Kathleen Kennedy say in her last big interview? When she was asked about Rian Johnson and all that stuff, she's like, we need to learn how to plan these things out. We need to take time and plan out these things. So clearly they're just doing one-offs. What do you need to plan for a one-off? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, this is the thing. So this is a much deeper look at this whole Star Wars saga, pun intended. So we Deadline broke the news, then the Hollywood Reporter. This tends to happen, ladies and gents, if you don't know, and obviously you guys will know this, is that everyone knows this. They're waiting for someone to break the news, and then the floodgates open. Most people will be aware that these things happen. They've got their own sources. So Hollywood Reporter was aware of this, but Deadline broke the news because no one wants to be the one that breaks the news unofficially outside of, the studio sanctioning it. And having them file notices for copyright or legal action, cease and desist, which they can do. And they've done it with me on certain topics here on the channel. And so the news broke, Deadline broke the news, then the Hollywood Reporter came out with a much, much, much more in-depth take instantly, just like that. So they knew about this. Everyone's known about this for some time. And this is the interesting thing is that, so you've got Damon Lindelof, which is a name that a lot of people are like, who? It looks like Lex Luthor. It's not. I promise you, it's not going to be Lex Luthor. But he might as well be the Lex Luthor of Star Wars or writing in general. Because although you may not be aware of who Damon Lindelof is, you would be aware of the work that he's done.
Or the things he's destroyed.
Prolific. Well, yeah, precisely. Yeah, he is prolific and terrible. So, you know, Prometheus, I mean, this stream itself, Prometheus writer. I mean, before he took Prometheus and butchered it, it was a fairly coherent storyline. And then he just destroyed it. You know, Lost. He's to do with Lost. Watchmen for HBO. There's multiple things. I mean, I'm sure Tom or Paulie can name some others.
Well, you hit on one point, and that is Lost, right? He's a J.J. Abrams acolyte, or whatever you want to call him. He's in that camp. He's one of those people. He worked on Star Trek Into Darkness, for instance.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, this guy's not good. And now they've wheeled out this other individual, Justin Britt Gibson, as the individual that will be helping write this film, right? Now, Justin Britt Gibson, I never heard of this individual before. But he seems okay. He's a young rising writer who worked as executive story editor on Del Toro's vampire drama, The Strain. Not bad. Not great. Not amazing, but not bad. He wrote episodes for The Counterpart. And then outside of that, you know, that is pretty much it. However, none of this is good news. As I broke the news to Tom, is that there's been a writer's... I think I broke this news to you a second ago. My brain's a bit mush at the moment. But there was a writer's room already established.
Kind of,
before these people even jumped on board.
Yeah, we were just discussing it, and you had said you'd done a video about it earlier too, and it was like, okay, you've already got a writer's room full of 5 writers. That's odd for a movie like this, especially when you already have somebody like Britt Gibson, who supposedly has a little pedigree behind him. Wouldn't you want to elevate that instead of... So you're saying already you have no faith in this guy, and or you've seen what he's done already and you aren't happy with it, and you already got other people working on it.
Well, so the thing is, they had a writer's room established, already set up, with Damon Lindelof sort of leading it, and all the other people chiming in to get the story. It's effectively a script treatment laid out. You get that script treatment laid out, vague story, and then you get Damon Lindelof on board. Disney, obviously, Lucasfilm hires him for the main bulk of the script, along with this other guy. But there's no amount of polishing a turd. If that story is shit, it's shit. And the individuals that they had working in that writer's room are not amazing. They're nothing to scream and shout about at all. It was a 2-week session in July, this writer's room. Patrick Somerville, he was involved. I mean, he's only involved because he worked with Lindelof before on The Leftovers. You've got Raina McClendon, a consulting producer on Lucasfilm's Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's not great for story. And also the writer on Willow. You've got Andy Greenwald, the creator to Rosario Dawson's crime drama Briar Patch. And that's it. There was a random other couple of writers that apparently so low down the running that they're not even worth mentioning their names in this article. So that's not good. It doesn't scream quality. And the thing about this, which surprises me... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, if you can go back to that paragraph of all those people. You know, what they have in common is that they're all easy to control. These are all...
Yeah, that Lucasfilm... talent.
They're all under Lucasfilm in that J.J. Abrams KK realm. Not Filoni, not Favreau, not Gilroy. You know, if they had announced that they're going to give Gilroy a film, I would kind of be like, okay, that's interesting, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
Tony Gilroy. Yeah, great.
yeah. I mean, a guy who actually has some creative guts. He might not
Yeah.
like what he's doing, but he's making daring choices. He's got guts, whatever. But
It's the best looking Star Wars we've had in years and years and years and years.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. H, look at this list.
Yeah, there's
This is a
nothing to
joke.
shout about. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a joke. Yeah, and the thing is that this is not going to be. These people have created the story that the other individuals now have to polish. So if that story is a turd, you can't polish a turd. So, and the thing which really, really, really ground my gears is when Damon Lindelof and Lucasfilm and all that came out and said, well, we need to get that director sorted because she's going to have say on where the story goes. It's like, how many writers do you have on this fucking film? Why does the director come in after the script treatment's been done in the writing phase and she gets to have a say on where the story goes? That's way off base for how script writing is normally done. Would you all agree, Tom?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, yes, sometimes you'll have, we want to make a Star Wars movie, and then you'll bring in, say, J.J. Abrams like they did for The Force Awakens. You'll have that kind of a situation where it is kind of a collaboration. Like, they kind of have an idea what they want to do, but yet they want J.J. Abrams there to do the J.J. Abrams thing. This sounds like a made-by-committee, almost worse than a television show, because at least in a television show, you still have the showrunner, who's kind of like the de facto director, producer kind of person who's basically where the buck stops, right? And they make all the decisions. Here it sounds like you've got Lindelof, this director, 5 different writers, the other writer that they're boasting about to begin with, and a situation where it feels like to me they already have a predetermined movie in mind. It almost reminds me of the Boba Fett thing all over again, remember? Because that's what they did to Rodriguez, and Paulie knows what I'm talking about. Because basically, Rodriguez did Boba Fett as a favor, hoping that Disney would give him a sequel to, what was it, Alita? Battle Angel, the first one? Yeah, that's like, what his whole thing was. He did it as a favor. So, like, when people are ripping on him for the story, it's like, and how it was done, it's like, he's basically just worked for hire at that point. He really has, I doubt he put very much input into it at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure he had a few things to say about it, but not to the point where he normally would for a Robert Rodriguez project, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Sure didn't feel like
seems,
one.
This almost seems, just set up for a television show, and it's not. I mean, if it's a film, it's just a different creative process, and let the director and the writer go off on their own and bring something back, But to announce all this stuff, is it a PR ploy just to make Lindelof and them look good? And it's like Disney,
it's terrible. It doesn't look good, does it?
Especially this also
what to us, but but does it, which would make sense why Disney is telling was it KK to stop announcing Star Wars?
I love that.
Well, Paulie has a point, because in the last week here we've had Michelle Rejwan get basically demoted.
Yes.
You've had Andor barely make it to the Nielsen charts.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you turn around and Lindelof himself, and this is where I think Paulie might have a point. Alan Moore come out and ripped him a new asshole in the fucking press.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, that was literally only a few days ago.
So this all kind of feels like maybe that's what I was.
It's all connected. It's all connected.
Yeah, that was literally only a few days ago.
It's all connected, and
I had not considered that.
Yeah, it's all connected, and going back to this choice for the director. This director is a documentarian director who did a documentary and painted a light of Pakistani culture in a very unpopular way, but popular in the Wakosa world. And her episodes of Miss Marvel had to be majorly redone. I mean, this is not good, guys.
Yeah, it's not good at all. But this is the line that just screamed. Well, the whole thing screams bad, but this line especially irked me. That said, sources add it was important to Lucasfilm and Lindelof that a director be brought on so that person's own vision for where they see this story headed gets included in the script.
Well, you might want their opinion on it. But, well, coming from somebody like you've actually directed things, Nate, you know damn well, like you are all in 110%. So you have to be very passionate about what you're directing. Don't you think you want your director kind of on board for this? Like,
well, you would, but you'd want him on board at a different stage, an earlier stage. Right. You know, normally it's like, oh, you know, we've got this spec script, you know, give it to a director. Oh, okay, perfect. Or, you know, got a director on board that wants to direct Star Wars. Cool. He has, you know, a writing crew that he works with, get them to put a script together and pitch it to us, so on and so forth. Not let's just get a writer. This is categorically made by committee. We're going to get a writer's room together. Then we'll get the director on board and she can just pepper in a little bit. Just a little bit of what she wants. Just a little bit. That's what it says to me. That's what it says to me.
Because they clearly don't really want her take early up front. It's not like she went to them and said, I have a great Star Wars idea. You know, or something like that. You know, clearly she's a stunt director, or whatever you want to call it. It's basically stunt casting for directing. Same thing with Lindelof with his writing, quote unquote, pedigree. Because he's another one of those that people see it as just because he won an award once or twice, he's got to be great. And I also remind people that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say this part. You know, sources say the movie project is intended as a standalone.
Yeah.
But in success could lead to more movies. That plan goes against the grain of earlier Lucasfilm development processes, which saw the company try to come up with new trilogies. Now the studio seems focused on standalones. Just make a good movie, you idiot.
I think that's in response to what I was saying earlier about what KK said in that more recent interview, where she said the whole thing with like it takes years to plan these things out because they don't want to go in half-assed anymore, basically.
Yeah. Just absolutely outrageous. But on that note, we have Nick from Echo Base Network.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I actually just got out of a work meeting. Tuesdays, I got a 3:00 work meeting, and so I literally just got wrapped up with that. So I just saw your message.
Good. You can bookend our conversation on Star Wars. Give us your opinion on this, then.
What's up, Nick?
What's going on, Paulie? It's freaking Disney Lucasfilm blunders as usual. It seems like they don't have their shit together over there. It's kind of mind-boggling a little bit. It's like they don't really quite know what they want to do. They're like trying some things out, and then they're kind of backtracking, and then and then with the recent news on Disney basically telling Kathleen Kennedy to stop talking about Star Wars projects. There's been so many that's been announced, and we haven't seen or heard anything else from it. So it's like, is these projects actually going to happen or not? So maybe that's why Disney's telling her to shut up, because they've, canceled so many projects in the past, and this could just be another one.
Yeah. I'm.
Star Wars is in a sad state right now.
Yeah, hugely sad state.
Yeah,
it is a shame. It's a product which could be great, but they've maligned it into just nonsense at this point in time. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing.
Especially if you run a Star Wars channel.